The VA won't tell you this. That little 10% rating they gave you, it might actually be worth 100%. But they're counting on one thing: you never figuring that out. You see, once they hand you that first rating, tinnitus, PTSD, whatever it is, most vets stop right there. But what the VA never explains is that every one of those conditions can open the door to another if you know how to connect the dots. When I first started this process, I thought I was done too. One condition, one rating, and a story. Turns out that was just the beginning. In this video, I'm going to show you how those conditions link together and how understanding those connected conditions can change your rating, your back pay, and your life. So stick with me, shipmates. Watch this one all the way through. Because once you see it, you'll never look back at your claim the same way again. Welcome to Scuttlebutt Vet. I'm Paul, a Navy vet who's been through every inch of the VA claim system, from 10% to 100% P&T. And around here, we don't sugarcoat it. We fight smarter, not harder. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and join the crew. And if you've been around a while, smash that like button right now, please. And don't forget to share this video with fellow vets who might need it. All right, let's get into it. What are secondary claims? Well, let's break it down plain and simple. When you file a primary claim, you're asking the VA to recognize something that's happened because of your military service. That's your foundation. The condition that started while you were in uniform or because of what you did there. It could be PTSD from combat or trauma. It could be tinnitus for years around engines, gunfire, aircraft. Or it could be that shoulder that you messed up loading up the gear. Or maybe that back injury that never fully healed after your deployment. A primary claim is your starting point. It's the first domino in a long line. But here's where most vets stop and where the real opportunity hides. Over time, those service-connected issues can cause new ones. That's a secondary claim. A secondary claim isn't about something brand new. It's about what's happened because of your service-connected condition. Think about it like this. You wrecked your knee in service and then started walking differently. And now your back and your hips, they're giving out. Or maybe you developed PTSD. Now you can't sleep. And now, because of that, you got sleep apnea and high blood pressure. Or you're on meds for chronic pain or anxiety, and now you've got migraines or GERD or depression from the side effects. That's not a coincidence. That's cause and effect. And every one of those can be claimed as a secondary condition to the original service-connected condition, as long as you can show a medical connection. And when you document that clearly, the VA has to rate it. But now here's where it gets a little tricky, because the VA actually has a quiet strategy that most vets never seen coming. Once they give you that first win, they are assuming you're done. And most vets take that 10%, maybe 30%, and they walk away. Not because they don't deserve more, but because this process just beats you down. And that's what I call the attrition tactic. The VA doesn't have to deny you if they can just exhaust you. But once you learn how to connect the dots, Once you know how your body's story actually fits together, that same system starts working for you instead of against you. For me, it started with tinnitus, but that wasn't the whole story. The nightmares, the headaches, the dizziness, the memory problems, they all felt separated. And the VA treated each one like they were on their own island. But when I finally learned how to show the link, that my PTSD led to my sleep apnea, and that the sleep apnea made my migraines worse, and that the migraines were connected to vertigo, then everything lined up. And once I proved that chain, the rating finally caught up to my reality. One led to another, and that's what brought me to the 100% PNT. Okay, for you naysayers out there, that's not gaming the system. That's telling the truth in the language that the VA understands. Hey, if any of this sounds familiar, then you're not alone, shipmate. Every comment on these videos tells a story just like this one. Frustration, setbacks, and finally finding hope again. So feel free to drop your story in the comments. You never know who you might help just by sharing it. Half the time another vet reads your story and realizes they're not the only one fighting that same battle. That's how we build each other up, one story at a time. All right, back to the nuts and bolts. Every secondary claim that comes down to what I call the evidence trinity. You've heard this before. 1, you have to have a current diagnosis. 2, you have to have proof of already service-connected condition. And then 3, a medical opinion, your Nexus, linking the two. And don't forget that key phrase, it's at least as likely as not that this condition was caused or aggravated by this condition. That's the 50-yard line. If the doctor or your specialist says that, and the evidence supports it, then you're in the fight. All right, so let's make this real from shipmates out there from their own perspectives. One shipmate wrote me the other day and said her PTSD kept her up all night. Her stress was through the roof, she couldn't sleep, and blood pressure was skyrocketing. That's a chain. PTSD to sleep apnea to hypertension. Another vet talked about his tinnitus, the constant ringing in the ears because he was around engines and weapons. Over time, it turned to migraines and then the anxiety that followed behind that. Again, a chain. Tinnitus, migraines, anxiety. You see, most vets already have this chain sitting in their medical records. They just don't realize how it's all connected. And that's where a solid personal statement, a clear buddy letter, and a doctor-signed Nexus comes together. The Nexus shows the medical link. The buddy letter shows how it affects your daily life, and your personal statement ties it all together in your own words. Listen, you don't need to pay anyone $5,000 to figure this out. You just need the right language and structure. That's why I built these AI prompt tools for you. I built the AI Nexus letter prompt. I built the buddy statement template. I even recently provided the personal statement prompt. They're all completely free. And the links are in the description below. These are all the same tools I used to go from 10% to 100% without paying for a lawyer or even waiting on a VSO. Look, I know this process is ugly, and a lot of you were denied 20 years ago and gave up. Some of you don't even know where to start, and others are right in the middle of the battle. Whichever way, it's time to get back in the game. Remember, the VA doesn't award effort, it awards evidence. But you don't have to build that evidence alone. If this video helped you, then drop a comment and tell me where you're at in your VA journey. And please share it with another vet who's sitting at 10% thinking that's all they deserve. But above all else, hit that subscribe button and the bell so you will be notified when I launch new videos. It goes a long way in supporting this channel. Shipmates, remember, we don't quit, we adapt. We fight smarter, not harder, and we take care of our own. Bravo Zulu shipmates, until the next video, fair winds and following seas.